So, hello and welcome. Again, my name is Janice. You are here at the Hills Leadership and Training Institute channel. I am one of the educators that's here in the organization, and today we're going to be talking about really understanding the customer experience. So, over the last couple of videos, we really have been trying to take very measured steps and really getting you to understand how email marketing and how building your email list is super important. But that's only the first portion of the entire process, right? Once we get the customer into our funnel and into, our system, if you will, that we've created, we have to take them on a journey. And we're going to talk about really understanding what that customer journey is and just providing some insight into, what is a customer journey map and why is it important and why are there some key elements that you do not want to miss when you're building your journey map. And we're going to talk about some really creative ways to ensure your journey map is essentially meeting the needs of your objectives for your business as well as for those of your customers in terms of meeting their pain points and identifying what need they actually are looking to fulfill. So when we're talking about understanding your customer journey, this is where we're really talking about how are we providing that exceptional experience. Of course, you may have heard this in other trainings, but the actual customer journey map is a powerful tool, and it's powerful for you because it helps you as a business owner visualize as well as analyze what steps the customer takes when they're interacting with your brand. Now, when we map out this journey, what we are doing is we're taking the time to really identify the pain points of the customer. We're looking for ways to ensure that we are engaging with them and that there is a seamless experience that essentially foster or build that loyalty and satisfaction. Now, if I had to define what a customer journey map looks like, it really is just, again, a representation of whatever the customer interaction with your business is going to look like across different touch points. And the touch points usually are for different types of interaction or engagement that they're having with your particular brand or business. When we build the outline, it basically takes into account, steps that deal with the emotional, the challenges that the customer may be experiencing. We are going to identify any kind of valuable insight in terms of behavior and expectations that the customer may be expecting once they interact, engage with your particular brand or a business. And this is super important because if we're spending money on a particular process, you are expecting it to produce results, right? So those are going to be super important. So when we're looking at the reasons why we really want to have a good understanding of the map, some of the reasons are going to be, one, it's going to enhance the customer experience. And that's going to be important because when we are enhancing customer experience, what we're doing is we're allowing the consumer or the customer to know that we really understand what need they are looking to address, right? And when we can clearly show that we understand that, it begins to eliminate those obstacles and it begins to improve the interaction that you have with that particular customer. It's also a tool that can help us boost customer loyalty. And how it does this is it's really, kind of going back to the very first thing when we're talking about enhancing the customer experience. It does it through reducing the frustration that many customer feels when they're trying to interact with the business, right? And if they can have that frustration reduced, it in turn builds trust and loyalty which are key elements for a long-term relationship. And then also it improves any kind of internal alignments. And this is, of course, if you have teams that you're working with inside of your businesses, or you have other partners that you're working with, if you can have a way to collaborate and share those ideals of what the customer expectation is, it helps by being able to show this through that customer map journey. And then, of course, at the overall or the main key is we always are looking to drive revenue. And we want that customer journey to increase the conversion rate, right? And if you go back to the video that we did the other day that talked about, how to really go into email marketing by defining your objectives. It talks about conversion rates and click-through rates and all of those key terms and definitions that really help us understand how we are to look at the data that we are using to make decisions in regards to our customers. So some of the key elements that we want to remember on the customer journey map is going to be, we have to have a customer or a buyer's persona. There's going to be a separate training outside of this that is going to deal with buyer persona. And this is essentially where we're going to build those fictional representation of your ideal client, their demographic, their motivation, and most importantly, their pain points. So be on the lookout for that video. We also want to have on our map customer stages. And the customer stages usually are, they're usually four, right? And it's going to be four that we're going to really deal with. It's awareness, right? Consideration, purchase, and retention. You have to have some kind of brand awareness in order for your customers to even know you exist, right? Then you have to have some way for them to consider you. What is your call to action? Then, of course, from there, we want to have that conversion, which is the purchase, and then retention is that long-term relationship. So those are some of the traditional ways in which they're identified. And so we're going to just use those in this particular video. But when we get to the buyer's persona, we'll see a little bit more personalized stages of the customer's journey that I want to kind of introduce to you. And then, of course, we will talk about touch points. So touch points are essentially every interaction that a customer is going to have with your business, from advertisement to customer support, to, clicking on an app if you have it, to dealing with your Google business, out on maps. All of those are going to be various touch points. So we want to kind of keep in mind, are we carrying the same exact message through all of them so that the customer is aware of what it is that we're offering in terms of, really kind of easing or eliminating that pain that they're experiencing. And then, of course, when we're looking at key elements of the customer journey, we don't want to forget about, what are some of the customer thoughts and emotions. We want to make sure that we really take a little bit of time to understand how the customer feels at each stage when we are addressing pain points. And, of course, pain points, they're, usually connected with maybe a negative thing, but I want you to think about it as an opportunity. Whenever you see a pain point, this is your opportunity to identify and provide a solution, right? So we're going to identify whatever the challenge is, and we're going to talk about the areas for improvement, and we're going to look at how can we then incorporate an overall experience, right? That is going to make that particular pain point, that particular challenge no longer exist, or they're able to manage it, or they're able to reduce it. So what are going to be some steps in building an effective customer journey? Well, it's 6 steps that I want to mention to you. The first one is you want to always start with your objective. So you want to determine what is your overall objective with this particular customer journey. In each time you're dealing with, a new product or a particular, new a new requirement or a new offer, you could have a different customer journey. You're going to use the same steps, but your information and detail that you actually use to build the remaining portion of that journey is going to be very much so customized to whatever it is that you're currently working on. So you want to think about what your objective is. If you're looking to increase sales, if you're looking to improve customer service, whatever it is, all right? The second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you gather the customer's data. You can gather customers' data through using surveys, conducting interviews. I even talked a little bit about how you can go and join things like Reddit, right? And go into various groups and listen to see what are the pain points that are constantly being discussed and brought up in those various areas. The third thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you identify the customer touch point. You want to list all the possible interactions that a customer has with your business and from every angle. So this may take a little time because if you're like me, you're in various locations. So you want to make certain that your messaging is being consistent across all of those various locations and that the customer has an idea of what it is that you're offering. So those touch points are being optimized. The fourth thing is you want to map your journey stage. And what is meant by this is that you want to outline key phrases from the initial awareness to post-purchase loyalty. Number 5 is you want to identify and analyze the pain points and emotions. Again, we're thinking about this as opportunities, right? So you want to identify those challenges and emotions at each stage, because each stage there is probably going to be an opportunity for you to offer a solution. And then, of course, you want to optimize and implement your changes. So based on all of those steps that we just done, you want to use that information to make improvements and, of course, enhance your customer journey. So when we're looking at some common challenges, and I know we're going through this really quickly, so do not forget to grab the handout that is inside of the description. I always like to offer you a handout because not only do I want to inform you, but I want you to also have the information available there to you so that you can look at it at a later date and potentially implement it in your business. But some of the things that you may find as challenges when you are building your customer journey is that you may not have all of the information or data that you need. So there may be a lack of accurate data. So there have to be some assumptions that are going to be made. The key with making an assumption is that you want to make certain that you are normalizing whatever the data is that you're using. And what I mean by that is you want to remove any significant outliers, anything that is only unique under one particular condition. If you can do that, and if you can normalize the data enough, then you can apply those assumptions, and that should help prevent ineffective solutions. Now, you always want to be aware of where the assumptions are inside of your data, but you don't want to let that stop you from creating your customer journey, okay? Especially when you're mapping this out. You don't want it to be overly complicated. Now, remember, I said that there were 4 stages, right? There are 4 stages. We're talking about awareness, we're talking about consideration, purchase, and retention. Now, inside of each of those stages, there may be various touch points. So you just want to make it as simple as possible, right? Because if you make it overcomplicated, it's hard to keep track of where and how you need to adjust if there's too many moving parts. And then the third thing that I want to talk about in terms of common challenges is that if you don't regularly update it, just like I mentioned a moment ago, if it's overcomplicated, you're probably not going to waste time trying to figure out what you was intending when you initially created it, and therefore you don't update it. So any kind of failure to update it on a regular basis could, again, bring you back to our first challenge, which is not having good data. Okay, so you want to make certain that you're updating it regularly and that you always are aware of whatever the customer's behavior is currently being displayed at that time, because customers, they do evolve over time, as technology becomes more readily available, and as other things become obsolete because they're no longer necessary, then the customer buying patterns and the way in which they interact and engage with your particular content or with your business or service, it changes. And so we want to just kind of be aware of that. And then, of course, once we want to kind of map any kind of updates and incorporate those updates accordingly. So again, this is the video that really is just talking about, how to transform your customer experience. And we're going to do this through the customer journey map. We talked about why the journey map was important. We talked about some of the key elements of the journey map. We talked about 6 steps that you should use in order to create your journey map. And then we talked about some challenges, so those things that you want to watch out for so that your data and your information remains relevant and consistent for your business. Okay, if you use this, what you will have is a well-structured customer journey map, right, which can possibly be a game changer for your business, especially if you're aiming to really kind of make certain that customer experience when they interact with you at each of the touch points is memorable, right, unique, right, that it is essentially yours. You have branded it. So when they see your particular colors or your particular font or your messaging, they know exactly who it belongs to, right? In order to do that, we have to understand the journey, right? And as a company, we want to make certain that we're using the data that is necessary to make decisions to improve any kind of customer satisfaction or engagement, and essentially to drive growth. Okay, so please use this. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you found value in it. Absolutely don't forget to download your free resource, okay, which is just a handout this time, or essentially a checklist that walks you through the key elements of the actual customer journey map, as well as the 6 steps you need to ensure that your customer journey is being fully, implemented. Also, if you look in the description, the cohort for the email marketing for beginners course is still open. You are absolutely encouraged to definitely sign up. This information, as well as all of the other information that we've gone over, plus much more, is going to be inside of the cohort. It is an 8-week cohort. It will be a hybrid cohort, meaning that there will be some self-paced work as well as some in-class work that we will be doing. Again, my name is Janice. I'm here with the Hills Leadership and Training Institute. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you.